Welcome back to Gentry's Garage. This time, I'll be working on a 31 Model A 5-window. This is a car I built a couple years ago for my buddy Steve. He owns Reno's in Dallas. He bought this as a roller. It still needed a lot of work done to it. The rear end wasn't finished at all. And everything was just pretty much mocked up. No engine, no trans, no wiring harness, no brake lines or any of that stuff. So he brought it to me and I put this thing together in 2 weeks. He brought me the engine, the trans, had a drive shaft made, did brake lines, wiring harness, and all the essentials to put it together, fuel system. So he's had it, he's driven it around quite a bit. But they had a little incident and the front end got messed up. So I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but the front end is bent. Just slightly bumped apart the car, and the wheels were turned, tweaked the steering gear box. So I've got a new mount and a new axle, got a new Super Bell axle, and a new steering gear box mount. This one's quite a bit heavier. I'm also going to put a heavier brace behind it. So I've got to get this steering gear box off. Both the Danes came to visit. Got to get this steering gear box, this axle off, and hopefully that's all that's bent. If that's all that's bent, it shouldn't be too big of a job. Get her back on the road. Here's a shot of the interior. This car is heavily chopped. It's very tight to get into. And the engine's pretty spicy. It's got a 50 Merc dash in it. All the LED display I had to wire in. He picked up the LED display off of eBay or somewhere like that, I think. And it's got a 4-link. Got an 8.8 rear, disc brakes all around. The motor's... Okay, so we're gonna jump right into the time lapse here. And as you can see, I got it up on the lift, and I'm just gonna pull the disc brakes apart, tie the calipers up so I don't have to re-bleed them, and then pull the rotors and spindles and kingpins off. I'm gonna do this on both sides and just drop the axle out and try to leave everything as simple as possible on the car. Okay, now that I got the axle off, I'm just going to pull all the hardware off the axle and move it over to the other axle. Make sure the axle's same length and straight, same direction, and just take it back over and reverse the process. Before I do that, I got to get the mount for the steering gear box off, and it's welded to the inside of the frame. And it's a little difficult to get around the wiring and the brake lines and stuff, so I was just trying to be gentle with that stuff so I didn't have to do more work than I really needed to. So it's just a little bit of a process, but it came off okay, and I got the new one on. So when I'm putting the new mount back on, I could see where the old one was, and I adjusted the mount just a little bit to give the steering gearbox a little bit better of an angle. It also brought the box up just a bit, so we had some more clearance, and lined up the arms. All right, got the steering gear box back on. It's all welded in. Put a little heavier bracket brace in there. So it's all back in and tightened down. Got plenty of clearance in there. Steer's nice. So I'm gonna get this axle thrown back on. I got the axle together over here. So get this axle back on the car. Everything's loose right now, so when I get it all on there, I can line everything up right. Okay, so now I'm just going to reverse the process and start putting everything back together. I didn't see any damage on any of the arms or other steering components. Everything looked really good. The spring was not twisted, and it looked like it was in pretty good shape. So we'll just get everything back together here and get it ready to be back on the road. take her for a little ride. A little out. All right, well, there you have it. Steve's 31 Model A is back together with a new axle in it. Runs okay. It's a little rich, but not a bad little hot rod. Hopefully he'll enjoy it some more now and maybe avoid obstacles when parking, even though he wasn't the one that did it. So I appreciate y'all watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. It's probably going to be a little short, but just a little quick axle swap, steering gear box redone, and she's ready to go. So I appreciate y'all watching. If you would, please like and subscribe. And we got more cool stuff coming up. We got the other big builds to do. Still got the 37. The drag car will be coming back to do some tweaking on. The gasser, the 56 gasser, will be coming back. It's getting taking the rack off of it and putting a steering gear box on it so it doesn't twitch as much. Anyway, you got any comments? Throw them down there in the bottom. And appreciate y'all watching again. Have a good day.